Video 1. What is Kriya Yoga? Before we begin to explore the Kriya Yoga Pranayama breathing technique, it's worthwhile for us just to take a few moments to recap on what is Kriya Yoga. And to do this, we can first of all reflect on what is yoga. In the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, yoga is defined as being the neutralizing or the weakening of the influence of the different movements or occurrences or fluctuations which are occurring within the mental field. Now, this definition alone merits a great deal of attention, but for the sake of this video series, we can also define yoga as being quite simply the unifying of our individual consciousness with absolute consciousness. Our individual consciousness is ordinarily identified with different aspects of manifested creation, whether these be gross, subtle, or extremely subtle. And it's only by learning to disengage with these processes, learning to disidentify with our association with the different movements within the mind, that we can experience our consciousness in its entirety. We can experience a state of consciousness which is pure, which is not fragmented as a result of our identifying with different aspects of creation. And when we do this, we begin to realize that consciousness in its pure form is unbroken. It's one whole continuum. It's unified. Now, the term Kriya is a Sanskrit term, and it refers to action or a practice. So Kriya Yoga is considered to be the practices which are used to experience the state of yoga oneness consciousness. So any individual who's performing specific actions or practices so as to achieve this experience can say that they're practicing Kriya Yoga. In the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, in the second book, in the first verse, Kriya Yoga is defined by the sage as being a threefold approach, which includes self-discipline, self-study, and surrender to absolute reality. Now, as you're well aware, Kriya Yoga is also the term which is used for one specific tradition of yoga. And this is the system of yoga which was brought to the West through the teachings of Paramhansayogananda. And in this tradition, a practitioner, while adhering to the threefold approach outlined in the second book of the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, also incorporates different techniques so as to facilitate their going deep in meditation practice. They perform specific kriyas, specific practices, formal practices, to help to purify their physical, their emotional, and their mental being, so as to cultivate a state of deep conscious awareness.